So you know what? Woke ITV will kick you out of their flagship reality show within hours if your crime is being a conservative. That was the fate suffered by my friend Emily Hewertson, who was clearly going to be one of the most interesting, compelling, and fun contestants in this year's series of the reality TV show, until producers who had purposefully tried to demonize her because of her politics in her introductory VT introduced a new twist, which meant she was out the house immediately. Clearly, this is ludicrous. I mean, the Daily Telegraph are completely right to say that she was booted off Big Brother for being a Tory. And they write the frustration for Hewertson is that by combining the edit of her interview with the twist of a first night eviction, the show's producers denied audiences the chance to get to know her and left her vulnerable to being the first sent packing amid a wave of social media vitriol. Online critics have been quick to describe her as the Liz Truss of reality TV, so short was her stint, while there were calls for a boycott of the show from social media users who deem her political views unacceptable. And Emily said, I was absolutely expecting that. I caused that storm, but then I didn't get the opportunity to show anything else and counter all the negative hate that I got. I really wanted to show that there's so much more to me than being a Tory. But who needs Big Brother, Emily Hewertson, when you've got Outspoken? And it's so funny, actually, because we were chatting at Maya Tusi's wedding and I said, oh, you've got to come on Outspoken. Come on, you've got to come on. And we were planning a date. And then all of a sudden you're in the Big Brother house. So I was like, okay, I know what's going on there. But I feel like what Woke ITV did to you, Emily, and I know you've taken it very well, but I feel like it was a real despicable stitch up. They demonized you and they wanted you out on the first night.
Yeah, so Dan, you know now why I was being a bit ambiguous with those dates for your show. It's all come out. But yeah, I mean, let's be honest, if you're going to edit a VT to make it all about me being a Tory and then go straight into a public vote, the writing's kind of on the wall. Obviously, when you're filming a VT, you film, a long conversation. They've then edited that to only include the bits about me being a Tory, which is so fine. Big Brother's a bit of a pantomime. I was very happy to go in as the Tory villain, as some stories have said, and that's so fine. However, they did not give me a fighting chance to counter that narrative. So in the end, all I got is a whole wave of abuse, which I'm used to anyway, and no chance to even counter that. So yeah, it was very disappointing indeed.
But I mean, isn't it extraordinary, Emily, though, that we still live in a world where the mainstream media, because by the way, their channels are dying, right? Their channels are dying on their ass because of this demonization of 50% of the population. Because even though the Conservative Party itself is in deep trouble at the moment, and we'll come to that in a little bit, the point is, this is fundamentally a small C conservative country where over 50% of the population support either the Conservatives or Reform UK or Advance UK, or Restore Britain, whatever the movement happens to be. Yet It's like you're living in a parallel universe when you watch a show like that.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said that the Big Brother audience perhaps isn't that representative of the wider population. It is quite a left-wing audience, which is totally fine. But if you're going to put someone on as a Tory, and Big Brother's all about different opinions, or supposedly, you should at least give them a fair chance. Because at the end of the day, when the public has to vote for a bottom three, they're going to go for the big characters, and certainly a big character that's also a Tory. And to not even give me that opportunity to counter that and show that there's a lot more to me than just, this Tory villain persona is really disappointing, because I think this is a time really where I'm saying a lot of what people are finally agreeing to. I mean, Dan, you'll know, we've been kind of fighting this fight for a while, and it finally seems to be catching on with the whole, raising the colours thing, etc., etc. And people want to see those characters on the screen, but when ITV don't even give you that chance, it's a bit disappointing. And we kind of need more Tory representation and right-wing representation in the media, because that is representative now of what society believes.
Of course, this was an opportunity for ITV to actually bring some of that debate into the Big Brother house this year. And my God, you're completely right. I mean, never has a channel like that needed it more. Needed discussions about patriotism, about Islam, about the migrant hotel protests, about the pink ladies, about Nigel Farage, about it all. And, you know, you're tight with Nigel. You know, like there's so much you could have brought to that house. And that's what made me sick about it, because it was so obvious the way that they fixed the vote, that it was designed, I believe, specifically for you to go. Now, the thing is, Emily, we know ITV have been wanting to do this to you on a show for so many years as well. They've been after you because, remember, you came previously on my GB News show when you had actually turned down an appearance on Love Island because ITV had been desperate to get you on Love Island. And so this is what's so frustrating. It's like you've waited all of these years, and then to make what? Some pathetic point, like to appease the left-wing woke mob on social media, they boot you out after a couple of hours. Big news. Outspoken is now available as a podcast too. So please do subscribe wherever you get yours, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and make sure you rate and review. I'll take 5 stars, if you may.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's really important to note as well that Big Brother actually approached me. I said,
exactly. You didn't apply.
No, and I just kept getting through with the rounds, and I was like, if I get it, I'll go for it, kind of thing. But yeah, it's such a long process. I don't think people realize. I think I was first approached about 6 months ago, and there's so much that goes into it. You then are also put in a hotel by yourself a few days before, with a chaperone, and like you have to go through every single item of packing. You get spoken to about how to behave in the house. You get a whole manual of how to live in. There was no indication that they were going to bring this twist, which they've never done before. I think the last time they did it, they brought that character back. So yeah, it was an absolute huge shock that no one saw it coming, and just a real missed opportunity, really. And I will add that I think the first 2 episodes were the viewership was pretty good, but I heard the 3rd episode, which FYI didn't include me, was the lowest viewings that they've ever had.
Exactly, because they're not going to have any drama. Now, look, Emily, you have come under a little pressure from the right at the same time. People saying, Emily, what on earth are you doing standing by the Conservative Party? And that went viral this week after your appearance, because you're still going to be attending Conservative Party conference next week. And you posted on X, the reason I am still a member of the Conservative Party isn't because I am happy at how they have acted in government. In fact, I am dismayed. It's because I am conservative, small c, and this should be the Conservative Party. I am fighting for the party to return to its core values. At the point this becomes untenable, I will leave. And for you, you sort of say your red line would be if Robert Jenrick defected to Reform UK. Kemi Badenoch's launched a bit of a fight back today in The Spectator magazine. But do you really believe her when she says that she's going to be the next Prime Minister?
I mean, if you speak in close Tory circles, even her biggest supporters have kind of accepted the fact that she won't be leader at the next general election. I've heard that many say that. So I think it's pretty clear that, you know, right now, I think she is good on some of the policy stuff. So if she kind of hammers that stuff down, and then we get someone that's a bit more charismatic, that kind of rallies the troops a bit more, like Robert Jenrick, I think you never know. But primarily, we need to get the wets out and stop kind of trying to appease the liberal wing of the party and actually return to what we should be, which is conservatism, because Reform at the moment are really winning that battle. And that's why it's so tempting for somebody like me to leave. And the problem is if people on my side of the party continue to leave, there'll be no one left to fight to make it a Conservative Party. And then it really, truly is toast.
Yeah, indeed. Emily, look, I want to come back to today's breaking news, because I know this is a story that you have been deeply impacted by. At least 2 members of the Jewish community are dead. A suspected Islamist terrorist has been shot and killed by the police, and 4 people still fighting for their lives as hospitals have gone on lockdown after this terror attack on the synagogue in Manchester on the Jewish holy day of Yom Kippur. Watch.
Hey, I'm just jumping out of this in a minute. He's going to blow himself up. He's trying to press the button. Come on. Right, fucking shoot him! Fucking hell.
The Prime Minister has flown back from Denmark to host this emergency Cobra meeting. The police have confirmed now the incident is counter-terrorism. Watch this.
Prison policing has declared this as a terrorist incident. Our specialist teams are now leading the investigation into what happened at Heaton Park Hebrew Congregation Synagogue and working closely with Greater Manchester Police. As we do this, those who have been killed and injured are at the forefront of our minds, as are their families, friends, and all of those who love them.
But of course, all day long, Emily, the MSM disgraced itself. Sly News, because clearly they just couldn't accept, that this was in a synagogue, so they actually referred to it as a mosque. And then I want you to watch this. The British Bashing Corporation have even attempted to blame the so-called far right.
People on the hard right, the far right, are a bit divided on their attitude to the Jewish community these days in the UK.
At that mosque at the time, I haven't been able to speak to anyone directly, but looking around, there's a lot of extremely concerned people around here. Obviously, worshippers from the mosque are a crowd.
And, I'd say all of this was so predictable after the tsunami of Jew and Israel hate, including from Slippery Starmer. And this is what Jake Wallace-Simons had to say about it.
Well, these people come for the Jews first. Their real animus is against democracy, against the West. I mean, I'm speculating about this guy's motivation. We don't know that. I should make that clear.
Yes.
But it's certain that that the people who hate the Jews the most are also the ones who hate Britain and the West the most. And it's worth reflecting on that, I think, today.
Yes, and worth underlining exactly what you said. We still do not know anything about the motive. We heard there from the anti-terror police the sorts of investigations that they are currently carrying out.
I mean, Emily, I couldn't believe that. It's like, what the hell do you think the motivation was? It's Yom Kippur.
It's just the double standards as well. We all know if this was seen as, a far right attack, it'd instantly be labelled far right. They wouldn't give the kind of grace of, we need to see the kind of intentions of it. And we saw that with their Liverpool car attack on the Liverpool fans celebrating. They were very quick to reveal information about the driver of the car and his biological characteristics. But it just seems a massive double standards here. And it's really, really awful what's happened. And I think this really shows that amongst all these Palestine marches, and not for 1 minute do I believe that everyone that goes there is violent and has something against Jewish people, but there's certainly, Keir Starmer has not got a grip on the kind of extremism that is very prevalent in these marches and that leaves the Jewish communities in this country incredibly scared. And when the BBC are giving a platform to the likes of Bob Vittlen at Glastonbury, who says he wants to, kill Zionists and death to the IDF, it just kind of, amplifies this message and incites violence.
Yeah, indeed. Well, look, I want to show you actually because you mentioned Bob Vittlen, just some of this. I would describe it as Jew hatred or Israel hatred, which has become so commonplace across our society. Look at this. But first, I never recommend anything unless I truly believe in it. And today I've got something game-changing for you. Have you ever stopped to think about how crucial comfort is down there? Well, let me tell you, today's Outspoken proudly sponsored by Sheath Underwear, the revolutionary brand shaking up men's comfort around the globe. And do you know what I love about Sheath? It was founded by a US Army veteran, Robert Patton, great man. And he thought all about this when he was serving in Iraq back in 2007. So this isn't just any underwear brand. Sheath was designed for the toughest conditions imaginable. Patton was battling relentless heat and discomfort in full combat gear, and he thought there has to be a better way, so he created it. And let's be honest, traditional underwear just doesn't cut it anymore. Sheath's innovative dual pouch design ensures your comfort all day long, keeping things separate, cool, and fresh. Imagine your essentials being comfortably cradled away from unwanted friction and heat. Trust me, it's genuinely transformative. I love Sheath. At the gym, on long days at work, even just relaxing at home. I'm telling you, once you've experienced Sheath underwear, there is simply no turning back. They're stylish, they're supportive, and they deliver unmatched comfort. It's like upgrading from economy to first class, but for your underwear. And right now, I'm offering you an exclusive 20% discount at www.sheath.com. That's SHEATH.com. That's 20% off your entire order when you use my special promo code Outspoken at checkout. So what are you waiting for? Sheath, by the way, perfect present. Are you looking for a last minute Father's Day gift? It really, really is good. And by the way, Sheath isn't just for blokes. Sheath is not just for blokes. You can see their incredible female versions as well. And you can see some of them modeled here as well when I show you the picture of Sheath as the first official underwear brand of the UFC. So you can click on the link below, visit sheath.com, make sure you enter Outspoken at checkout, and thank me later when you're feeling comfortable, confident, and ready to tackle anything the day throws at you. Sheath underwear, redefining comfort one pair at a time. But now, back to the show.
Death to the IDF! Death to the IDF! Death to the IDF! Death to the IDF!
Israel or the terrorists! Israel or the terrorists!
I'll read out this from Chris. I do think it's worth saying that these warped views are not just an Israeli problem. My wife was brought up Jewish, and at Shabbat school in a leafy Hertfordshire town, she was taught that one Jewish life is worth thousands of Arab lives, and that Arabs are cockroaches to be crushed.
You are quite openly Jewish. This is a pro-Palestinian march.
Fuck the Zionists!
And Emily, even last night in London, as a result of this flotilla with Greta Thunberg, there were the most crazy scenes from the pro-Palestinian mob. So this has become so normalised. What do you make of it, Emily?
It's just absolutely shocking. I mean, it's just it feels like it's become so normalized, and Keir Starmer certainly hasn't helped with some of his recent announcements. And it just seems that kind of hatred towards Jewish people isn't treated the same as hatred amongst any other kind of racial group would be. It's just honestly a really, really scary time for the Jewish community. If you speak to anyone that's Jewish, they're genuinely scared, and they shouldn't have to put up with this. It wouldn't be put up with for any other marches. If you look at the way that kind of, Unite the Kingdom rally was reported on, and the way that the MSM, completely shut that down as, a violent demonstration. But then you see scenes like this, and they're very quick to say probably that it was mostly peaceful.
Yeah, always. Well, there was barely any policing at all yesterday at that event. Emily, I do think we have to give credit where it's due, though, today. And even though I think the Greater Manchester Police have been very wrong not to release the suspect's name, not to release his ethnicity, not to release his religion, we're still waiting for that. I do think the initial response today, which did involve frontline police officers very much putting their life on the line, was highly effective. This is what happened.
Fucking hell, they just...
Everybody else, get back! If you're not involved, move back! Get away! Somebody stay with casualties! Everybody else, he has a bomb! Go away!
He's got a bomb on him! He's got a bomb! Mate, he's got a... Man, he's got a bomb on his fucking jacket, mate. He's trying to go into school. Mate, he stabbed him. He's got a gun. No, he's got a bomb. Get the fuck out of here. Mate, if he detonates that... Mate, I'm just jumping out of this in a minute. He's going to blow himself up. He's trying to press the button. Man, fucking shoot him! Fucking hell. He's got bombs on him. He's got fucking bombs attached to him. Fucking hell. Get the fuck out of here while he's got bombs. Mate, he's dead on the floor. What the fuck? Wow, fucking hell.
And Emily, that scene, I mean, so I praise the police. I praise the police for their quick actions. I really do. That scene gives me total chills. I mean, you see the two Jewish men, it's Yom Kippur, that they won't have their phones or anything like that. walking past the security guard who we believe is lying dead there. I mean, it's just utterly horrific.
I mean, honestly, it brings a lump to my throat. It's absolutely horrific. But you are right to point out that the police should absolutely be commended on this occasion. And I saw a tweet actually saying that they hope that no kind of proceedings are taken against the officer who shot, because you never know in this day and age, which is so scary. But the police should honestly be really commended in the situation for their bravery, and they deserve medals, putting their life on line like this. When there was a real threat that he could have had a bomb, it's just absolutely awful. It really is no words, and the fact that this is becoming normalized is just awful beyond words, and we really need to take action on this because it is becoming a real problem in this country.
And your response to Starmer saying, oh, I promise you we're going to do all we can, and, not mentioning a word about the threat of Islamism?
No, exactly. And if you speak to any Jewish person, they feel really, really let down by Starmer. It's same old Labour, really. They don't want to take their swift action because they're really concerned about losing a portion of their voting of their voters, which is just awful as well. I saw a tweet actually earlier that I thought was very true, that Keir Starmer was very happy to show support to the Jewish community when it helped him politically. But now he's kind of doing the opposite when he sees it advantageous to try and get other voters on side. It's just awful. This isn't a political game. This is like genuinely people feeling endangered for their life.
I know. Well, Emily Hewertson, looks so great to have you on Outspoken. Sorry it's in these circumstances, but now that you're free of the Big Brother house, you'll have to come back very soon, please.
Absolutely, I'd love to.
Emily Hewertson, Conservative commentator. It's the loss of Big Brother, the fact that they got her out of that house so quickly. Ludicrous decision. Okay, Greatest Britain Union Jackass in just one moment, but first to your comments. Thank you for the super chats. Kendra Pinder says Starmer enabled Islam, calls who speak out enemies. Stevie Leeds in response to Starmer says your party is responsible for this, you disgusting bastard, Starmer. And Disruption says Keir Starmer has been doing nothing but giving his condolences to white people whose children are being murdered by the very grotesque people he's inviting into the UK. From Jack Lemon responding to some of this mainstream media coverage, Sky so wanted it to be a mosque. Synagogue just didn't fit the narrative. Jays writes, genuinely heartbroken for our peaceful Jewish communities around the UK today. What a dreadful country to be living in currently. Robert Seagull says, Dan, I need to speak on your show. I'm Jewish, I'm boiling, I have tears and spitting anger at the same time. Robert, I mean, I hope you understand that that's exactly how I felt, and I tried to represent you today the best I could. Thank you so much for your note. And John Gray says, Starmer could have nipped this in the bud 2 years ago, but he kowtowed to the Palestine mob instead. Okay, time to reveal today's Greatest Britain Union Jackass. A reminder of your nominees. Owen Jones, nominated by Mad Dog Photo, not because he got kicked out of the Labour conference, but for attending the conference on the pretense of being a journalist and still taking sides with Palestine. Rachel Reeves, nominated by MattCass48. He's in their head. Nigel. Reeves goes full on Farage derangement syndrome, and it's shockingly embarrassing. And Yvette Cooper, nominated by Kaz Quinn, who said not a word of truth in her or her colleagues, all simply bullied misfits driven by hate and revenge for not fitting in. If you're still a pretend socialist at their age, then you are lost. And to the results, it was close today with 26% Yvette Cooper. The runner-up with 33% of your vote, Owen Jones. But today's Union Jackass, Rachel Reeves with 41% of the vote. And of course, because it is a Thursday, we will be launching our search for the worst Britain in the world this week, immediately after the show in the post section on YouTube. It's a Labour slam dunk this week. It was Keir Starmer on Monday, Shabana Mahmood on Tuesday, David Lammy on Wednesday, and Rachel Reeves today. You can get voting very shortly on that. And today's Greatest Britain, nominated by Boggy Wood, the Jewish community of the UK on Yom Kippur. And Boggy Wood says their community faces sheer endurance in the face of real hatred.
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go wherever you are.